Hi folks, this is Karim Raouf from Raati Visualizer channel. We will continue our lab, the matrix labs, the video number 11. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have been working on to configure DHCP server role feature on our additional domain controller. We have stated before that our virtual machine will host a couple of server roles. We will have additional domain controller and DHCP and file server and WSOS on the same virtual machine. We have said before that the best practice is to put each server role on a separate server. If you have some shortage in your server count or you have limited number of servers, then the best solution is to put your primary domain controller on one server and then add all of the other server roles on another server, like as we said before, the additional domain controller and the DHCP and the file server and the WSOS all can be hosted on one physical server on or on one virtual machine. But take care, this virtual machine or physical server should have enough hardware resources, because the file server you should have a large storage media that you can work on, because this will be a file server, and you need to have some amount of RAM to work with, because the WSOS will ask for memory a lot, okay, and there will be much processing because it will host a lot of server roles. So you should plan for this virtual machine or plan for this physical server quite, or you should give it a lot of hardware resources. So anyway, the previous video we have installed the DHCP server role and we have configured the DHCP. We have seen how we can make the scope, what is the scope range, what are different settings for our DHCP server. We have, for example, feed the DHCP with our default gateway and DNS servers that will be that he will be responsible for giving it to the clients. So it will give the clients IP addresses and it will give them the IP for the default gateway and the IPs for our DNS servers, so they can be able to communicate with each other and to join the domain. Anyway, so we have done all of these, and we have also asked the AI tools like ChatGPT 4 and Claude 3 and Perplexity about the best practices to make DHCP or to configure the DHCP server, and we have seen a lot of useful recommendations. So today we will install the file server resource manager, which is a tool that we will use to control the data that our file server will host. How we can control the data, or what I mean by controlling the data, through the file server resource manager will be able to control how much data will be put on our file server, what is the kind of data that our file server will host. This through the file server resource manager through two tools. The first thing is the quota, okay, or the disk quota, and the other tool is the file screening option. So we will do all of this today in our video, and we will continue working on the file server. What we need to do, we need to create folders and share them to the departments, and we need to create Active Directory home folders for our users. All of this will be created using scripts, and after creating all of these folders and sharing them, we need to have our department share folders to be mapped to the users. Okay, we will do that using, or to be network mapped to the users using group policies. We will do that, and we will see how this is very easy to do. So we will see all of these, and we'll see how we can ease our task by using scripts. We will use scripts to create folders, and we use scripts to share the folders, and then we use scripts to set the permissions. We will set two permissions, share permissions and security permissions, or in another terms, SMB share permissions and NTFS share permissions. We have discussed before, or in the previous, I think maybe two videos before, or the previous video, what is the SMB share permissions and what are the NTFS share permissions. They are permissions that are used to control the access to the files and folders on our file server. They can used as double security layers, so you can use both of them to have multiple security layers on your folder, okay, or file. So today let's first go and see what the AI tools recommendations for creating a file server. What is the best practices for creating a file server? What we should focus on when we create a Windows or a file server in a Windows domain environment. So first, let's see ChatGPT and its answer, and then we'll go to Perplexity, and the last one will be Cloud 3. So let's see what are the best practices to create a file server in a Windows domain environment. Let's see what is the answer of ChatGPT first.
Setting up a file server in a Windows domain environment involves several best practices to ensure efficiency, security, and manageability. 1. Use a dedicated server. Allocate a dedicated machine to serve as the file server to optimize performance and security. 2. Integrate with Active Directory AD. Utilize AD for authentication and authorization. This ensures that only authorized users can access specific files or directories based on their AD credentials. 3. Configure NTFS permissions. Carefully configure NTFS permissions to control access to files and folders rigorously. 4. Implement share permissions. Set share permissions that dictate how resources are accessed over the network. 5. Enable auditing. Track file access and modifications by enabling auditing through group policy or local security settings. 6. Use disk quotas. Manage disk space usage effectively by setting up disk quotas to limit the amount of data that users can store on the server. 7. Regular backups. Implement a robust backup strategy to recover data in the event of hardware failure, data corruption, or accidental deletion. 8. Security updates. Regularly update the server operating system and applications to protect against vulnerabilities. 9. Network segmentation. Place the file server on a secure network segment, ideally separate from the general user network to enhance security. 10. Encrypt sensitive data. Use encryption for sensitive data to protect it from unauthorized access, especially if the data is accessed over potentially insecure networks. By following these best practices, you can ensure that your Windows file server is secure, efficient, and effectively managed.
You can see these are all best practices and very, very good recommendations. If you need to implement any one of these, you can tell the ChatGPT what are the technical steps, for example, to configure NTFS permissions. Ask the question how I can configure NTFS permissions on my Windows server. So this is basically some steps you can further communicate with the AI to give you the technical steps to configure or install or do any one of these 10 recommendations. I think they are 10. Yes, they are 10 recommendations. Again, this is for ChatGPT. Let's go to Perplexity, which is much more, or it's an engine AI searching tool, but it gives also very, very good answers, and they are accurate, and they give the source of the answer like Edge Copilot, but I think this is more advanced than Edge Copilot. So we can see when I asked him the same question, he gave me about 16 sources for his answer, and he numbered them. So, for example, the first recommendation is from source or from website number 5. So he's giving them numeric numbers. Each one of his answers is numbered according to the website he got his answer from. So, for example, this is 5, it means it is the website number 5. This is, for example, number 1, then it means it got its number from this PDF, which is numbered 1. Let's see the answer of Perplexity, and we will see how his answer is very, very accurate and very, very rich, more, or it is more richer than the answer of ChatGPT. Let's see what is the answer.
The best practices for creating a file server in a Windows domain environment include: plan the directory structure. Plan the directory structure carefully to ensure that it is organized, easy to navigate, and scalable for future growth. 5. Use access-based enumeration, AB, implement AB, to control access to files and folders based on user permissions. ensuring that users only see files and folders they have access to. 5. Use DFS namespaces. Utilize DFS namespaces to redirect users to redundant backend file servers, ensuring high availability and fault tolerance. 5. Store files on a separate drive. Store files on a separate drive letter from the operating system drives to prevent future issues with drive space or an operating system failure from corrupting files. 5. Use network-attached storage. NAS. Consider using NAS appliances with failover and backup built in for larger organizations to ensure high availability and data protection. 5. Implement file server security. Implement robust security measures such as encryption, access controls, and auditing to protect sensitive data stored on the file server. 1. Regularly backup data. Regularly backup data to ensure that it is safe and can be restored in case of a disaster or data loss. 2. Use a 3-2-1 backup strategy. Implement a 3-2-1 backup strategy, which involves creating at least 3 copies of data, storing 2 copies on different types of media, and storing 1 backup in an offsite location or in the cloud. 3. Test data restores. Regularly test data restores to ensure that backups are complete and can be successfully restored. 3. Monitor and manage backups. Monitor and manage backups to ensure that they are running correctly and that any issues are addressed promptly. 3. By following these best practices, you can ensure that your file server is properly configured and managed, providing a secure and reliable platform for storing and sharing files within your Windows domain environment.
So you can see this answer is very, very rich, and it gives us very good recommendations. For example, the backup strategy, using NAS storages to put your file or your file server data on a separate drive, not the operating system drive. You can see here that he's considering using the NAS storage. One note I should consider using NAS, because it's always uh, uh, it can be infected by ransoms. So ransoms, you should take care not to use only one type of storage media. And we can see here that he is suggesting to use 3 copies and 3 different storage medias. The NAS storage should be one of them, and then, for example, you can use a tape drive as the second storage media, and the third type, it could be the cloud storage. So we can see very, very good recommendations, but here they are very, very technical. So if anyone without a good technical background, he could not understand what this answer means. So I tell him to explain his answer in simple terms. Let's see what was or how he can simplify his answer. Just wait for a moment.
Here are the best practices for creating a file server in a Windows domain environment explained in simple terms. Plan your folders. Organize your folders in a way that makes sense and is easy to navigate. Control who sees what. Use access-based enumeration, AB, to control what users can see and access on the file server. Make files available everywhere. Use DFS namespaces to make files available on multiple servers, so if one server goes down, users can still access files. Keep files separate. Store files on a separate drive from the operating system, so if the operating system fails, files are safe. Use special file servers. Consider using special file servers called NAS appliances for larger organizations, which can handle a lot of data and have built-in backup and failover. Keep files safe. Implement security measures like encryption, access controls, and auditing to protect sensitive data. Backup your files. Regularly backup your files to ensure they are safe and can be restored if something goes wrong. Backup strategy. Use a 3-2-1 backup strategy, which means having at least 3 copies of your data, 2 on different types of media, and 1 in an offsite location or cloud. Test your backups. Regularly test your backups to make sure they are working correctly and can be restored. Monitor your backups. Monitor your backups to ensure they are running correctly and address any issues promptly. By following these simple best practices, you can ensure your file server is secure, reliable, and easy to use for your Windows domain environment.
So here I can have a small note on this answer. Okay, he simplified it very, very well, and it's now I, anyone can understand the answer. But here I should focus on access or use access-based enumeration. This is a very good option that allows the user to see only the folders that he have access on. So for example, if we didn't use this option and we have, for example, 7 folders, uh, the user can see the 7 folders, but only the one he can access is the one that we set the permissions for him to access. So for example, if I am in the IT and I have my folder shared, I can access the IT shared folder. But if I try to access the HR folder, I will get a message saying that this is not allowed. I can see the folder, but when I access it, it will tell me you have access denied. So access-based enumeration will not let me see the HR shared folder from the beginning. So it will not allow me to see the shared folder. So the user can still see the shares of other departments, but he will only access the folder that is related to his department, and the permissions allows him to do that. So the user access based enumeration will help me, or to it will secure more my shared folders, so users will only see the folders that they have access to. Okay, so this is very, very good option. Okay, so some users in some way can see the share folders of other departments. Okay, so I can, as an HR user, I can see the shared folder of the IT, so I can see it, but I can't access it. So this is one weak point. I don't need, or I don't let the other users to see the other department shares. I only need the user to see his department share, and every other shares are disappeared or don't appear for the user. So this is a very, very good option. Let me show you all how this can be done. uh, Here is the key points. Okay, this is one of the things here. For example, here is the key points, or this is some notes about the access-based enumeration. Here, let me give you the answer, or what is said about the ABE, another additional information about the access-based enumeration, and these are screenshots on how to get it. So let me first read this answer. Just a moment.
The key points about ABE from the search results are: ABE filters the view of files and folders based on the user's permissions. Users will only see what they have access to. ABE is enabled at the file server share level, not the local file system level. ABE can also be used to filter links in DFS namespaces. Enabling ABE has performance implications, as the file server needs to check permissions for every directory enumeration request. It's recommended to use SMB2/3 and leave caching enabled to minimize the performance impact of ABE. ABE should only be enabled if it's truly needed, as it adds complexity and can impact performance.
So we can see here, this is very, very good info about the ABE and its implementations upon the server performance. So let's see how we can get to this access-based enumeration. You can get it from the server manager, then go to the file server section, and then go to the shares, and then you can get your shared folders. Right click any property, or click the properties of any shared folder, and then after clicking properties you will get this screen, which have some checkboxes to check. One of them is enable access-based enumeration and the caching. And this is a very good option to secure the connection to your file server to encrypt data access. I think this will enable SMB protocol version 3 to encrypt data access. When enabled, remote file access to the share will be encrypted. This secures the data against unauthorized access while the data is transferred to and from the share. So this will secure the connection between the client and the file server. So this also is one of the hardening for your file server to secure the connection to the file server by enabling encrypting data access. And I think this will enable the SMB share protocol version 3. We all know that accessing the file server and transferring data from the file server to the clients, this will be done using the SMB share or SMB protocol. There is different versions from SMB protocol. The most secure one is SMB 3, and the best practice is to disable non-secure SMB protocols like SMB1 and SMB2 and do not use them in a network. Okay, so this is how we can use the ABE. As we can see here, this is very good answer and very detailed. And if you need to work with any one of these recommendations, you can ask the AI to give you the technical steps on how to implement it. The last one we can see is for the Claude 3, and it gives us a different answer. As we can see here, most of the AI tools will give you different answers that will complete each other. So you can uh, ask different AI tools and use these different answers to have a complete vision on what you can do. Okay, so let's see the answer of Claude 3.
Creating a file server in a Windows domain environment involves several best practices to ensure proper configuration, security, and performance. Here are some recommended best practices. Plan the file server role. Determine the purpose of the file server, e.g., file sharing, centralized storage, backup destination, and the required resources, storage capacity, RAM, processing power. Choose the appropriate hardware. Select server hardware that meets the performance and capacity requirements, considering factors such as disk configuration, RAID, SSD, or HDD, network connectivity, and scalability. Install and configure the file server role. On a Windows Server machine, install the file and storage services role through the Server Manager or by running the Install Windows feature FS File Server PowerShell command. Configure disk storage. Set up disk volumes, format them with the appropriate file system, NTFS or REFS, and configure disk quotas, file screening, and data deduplication as needed. Create shared folders. Create shared folders with appropriate permissions for different user groups or organizational units, OUs, based on their access requirements. Configure folder permissions. Set NTFS permissions and share permissions on shared folders to control access and limit users' ability to modify or delete files. Enable folder redirection and roaming profiles. Consider enabling folder redirection and roaming profiles to centralize user data and simplify user profile management. Configure backup and restore. Set up regular backups for the file server data, either using Windows Server Backup or a third-party backup solution. Test and document the restore process. Secure the file server, enable SMB encryption, configure firewall rules, and disable unnecessary services to enhance the security of the file server. Monitor and manage the file server. Regularly monitor disk space usage, performance counters, and event logs. Use tools like File Server Resource Manager, FSRM, to manage file server resources and enforce storage quotas. Document and update regularly. Maintain detailed documentation of the file server configuration, shared folder structure, permissions, and any custom settings or scripts used. Implement high availability. If the file server is critical, Consider implementing high availability solutions such as failover clustering or distributed file system, DFS, namespaces for load balancing and fault tolerance. Optimize performance. Implement performance optimization techniques such as enabling NTFS compression, configuring SMB multi-channel and SMB direct, and separating user data from system data on different volumes or disks. Integrate with Active Directory. Join the file server to the Active Directory domain and take advantage of centralized user and group management, as well as group policy objects, GPOs. Submitting this report will send the current conversation to Anthropic and store with your feedback for future improvements to our models. When you submit feedback and provide us permission, we disassociate in.
So we can see here that there is a lot of good recommendations added to what was stated by ChatGPT 4 and Perplexity. So by combining all of these answers, we can set up a best practice, or we can set up a file server according to the best practices uh, that most of the AI or most of the good AI tools uh, currently in the world. So we can enhance our experience with the file server using these recommendations. So this is very, very good recommendations. But one thing here, I cannot enable roaming profiles. Roaming profiles can do a lot of network traffic on your network. Okay, so you should take care when using this recommendation. I do not prefer roaming profiles, by the way. So I I do not recommend this. Or if you have a fast network, then you can use something like that. We can see also it's talking about secure or security. This was not stated by ChatGPT 4, for example. So there is a lot of things, and actually one of the things also that you can set up on a file server, it's the data duplication feature. This will see if there is any duplicated data, it will delete it so you can have more space on your server. So by using this quota and file screening and data duplication, you have full control over your file server. You can control uh, the size of the data, the type of the data, and the uniqueness of the data by applying the data duplication feature, which will remove any duplicated data. So this is very, very good answer. Let's see how we can set up our file server and then put servers on it, and put shares on it and share it and do all of this. I have a graph that I have already used in my Marvel Studio Lab. This is one of my first labs that I have worked on. This is for the juniors. If you are a junior in the Microsoft field, or you are a junior system administrator, I urge you to see this series, the Marvel Studio Lab. This is very, very simple and easy, and you can work with it and comprehend it or understand it very, very easily. So let's see how we will do our file server. So this is a very, very basic diagram. You have your file server, then you have the hard disk on the file server. Okay, then we will create folders for each department. This will be created using a script, and then we will share these folders also by using a script, and we will set the share permissions using another script, and then we will set the NTFS permissions using a third script. Okay, so this is basically are the folders, they are shared, and then we will use, or we will let certain groups in the Active Directory to access these shared folders. So for example, if we have a look on the IT folder, shared folder, we will see that Marvel IT group will have full control over this shared folder. This is the share permissions, and Marvel IT will have full control also on this shared folder, but this is the NTFS permissions. Every group will have two layers of permission, the share permissions and the security permissions. So we can see, for example, as for the HR group, their shared folder, we will see that the HR group will have share permissions change. They will have change on this server, change on this folder, and the Marvel IT will have full control over the folder. And the same is on the security permissions. So we can see very, very simple diagram, and all of these will be done using script. Okay, so if the IT open his PC, then he will go and see his folder and the permissions. So we can see this arrow, he will see his folders. And again, as for the HRPC, when we open it, we will go up there until we see his folder, and then we can see the permissions on the folder. So all of these will be done using script. How this will be done, let me show you all also how this will be done. This is the folder structure. We will create a folder named department shares, and then we will create subfolders, every subfolder for a department, and then we will set the permissions. Creating the folders will be done using a script, and then setting the permissions, the share permissions and the NTFS permissions will be done using two scripts. Okay, so we will use one script for the SMB share permissions and the other for the NTFS share permissions. Okay, so this is a very, very simple diagram. At the end, what I need to see or what I need to implement, at the end, if for example, we have the HR member, which is Widow, you know, this is a Marvel character, it's in the HR team. If it logs into her computer using its Active Directory user, it should see the HR share folder mapped as a network drive, and it see its Active Directory home folder as a mapped drive. And there is quota on both shared folders, and there is file screening option on both, not to put, for example, video or audio, and this we can control the type of the size of the data. For example, this is 10 gigabyte and this is 2 gigabyte. So mapping the shared folders will be done using a mapping group policy. So we see, for example, this is the HR folder location or shared folder location. This is it. I am telling the mapping group policy to map it as an M drive and type on it HR. Okay, so, and this map drive only will be accessed by the HR Active Directory group. So mapping the shared folders will be done using a mapping group policy. So all of the folders will be shared and created using scripts, and then they will be mapped using the mapping group policy. As for the Active Directory home folder, this is another setup. If you need to create Active Directory home folders for your users, we need to go to every user and then choose this option. This will be an L drive, and we will need to specify a folder name. So we will have our file server here, and then we'll have another folder created for the Active Directory users, and every user will have an Active Directory folder with his username. This will be done also using script. Okay, so this is a very, very simple diagram on how we will work. So we will create the folders and share them and put permissions using scripts, and we will create the Active Directory home folder for each user using another script. So we can ease our ease our task by using scripts. So I can give you a look on these scripts. So for example, let me show you all how we can work with the SMB share permissions script and the NTFS permissions script and the Active Directory home folders creation script. So let's go there. This is my lab files, and it is already in my Google Drive link in the description of the video. So let's go and see, for example, the first one or the first script that we will use here. Just give me a moment. Here, from line 6 to line 12, you're telling him to create a folder. We can change the name of the folder, and then I need to create subfolders. Okay, in this folder, the name of the subfolders, it is in a file called folders.txt. So here, for example, I will change data cube to departments share, and then I ask him to create a number of folders with certain names. He will get them from a location, these scripts, folders.txt. Let me show you all this text file. Here is the folders text. Here, this is the name of the folder. So I need the script to go and read the folder text and create 15 folders with these names. Okay, so we will change here the name of the folder, and then you can put in the text file any number of folders and their names, okay, as you wish. Okay, so this is the first step. We will create folders or the main folder that we will create the other subfolders in it, which is here we can see this, the department share. If you can go there, this is the department share. We need to create it first, and then the script will create the main folder and the subfolders. Okay, so this is first step, or step number one. And then step number two, we need to set, share permissions on these folders. Okay, or not only set permissions. So the folders are created, we need to share them and then put the SMB share permissions. This is another script. Here we can see this is a script. I am telling him to go to a certain CSV file that contains the groups and the shared folder names, okay, that these groups will access. So we can see here that's from the line new SMB. This will create, share, or will share certain folders that are stated in this CSV file, and then grant access to certain groups which are also stated in this file. So let's see what this file contains, which is called SMB share groups. If we go there for this one, what we will see here, we will see, as we can see here, we will see there, okay, if we go there, we will see that this is the folder name, this is the location of the folder, this is the share name, okay, and this is the group, and this is the permission, okay. So every group will have certain permission on the folder, okay. So this is how we can set the permissions, okay. So this is the first script that we will use, okay. And after doing that, what I need to do, if I need to remove a certain group from these shared folders, I need to run a second script. What is this script? Script number 5. Why I need to do that? Let me show you all a little bit of something here. If you share any folder, there is a group that already have access to any shared folder by default, which is everyone group. If you share any folder in any PC, you will see that a default group named everyone will have access on this folder. I need to remove it because this is not good in a domain environment. Everyone means that anyone from inside or outside the domain will have access to this shared folder. So I need to remove everyone from all of my shared folders. So here what I will do, I will share the folders and put the permissions and then remove everyone from all of my shared folders. Okay, so this is one thing to do. So again, what if after I have removed certain groups and granted some groups certain permissions, I need to grant more groups more permissions on my folders? Okay, what I can do, there is a third script. For example, this is script number 6. Here, this is script number 6. If you need to add, this is script number, sorry, not script number 6, script number 8. Okay, for example, if you need, for example, here in this diagram, what happened, or what we need to have in this diagram, for example, I need to, for example, share the HR folder and add, I will share the HR folder and give the HR group change permission on the HR folder, okay? But I need to add the IT group as the second group with another permissions, okay? This can be done using script. So the first script will share the folder and grant the HR team change permissions, okay? And then we will remove everyone from the shared permissions of the folder, okay? And the last script will add the Marble IT group, okay, and give it full control over the folder. Someone say to me, why you have this in 3 scripts? Why do you not combine all of them in one? Actually, I tried, but this was not successful. So we can ask the AI to combine the 3 in one script so you can use them. But uh, by separating it to small pieces, then you can control the process. So if the script fails, it will do a lot of damage. So by maximizing, or by minimizing it or dividing it to 3 scripts, this will be a good practice. Okay, so this for the SMB permissions. So after doing all of that, we need to see the last script, okay, for setting the NTFS permissions. This is the NTFS permission script. If you open it, it also will install a certain PowerShell module. This will help you to set NTFS permissions easily. If you do not install this module, it will be a headache to set NTFS permissions. Okay, so you should download this module and install it, and then there is a file that contains the name of the folders and the permissions on the folder. This folder, if I show you all, this is called NTFS groups. If we open it, this is the permissions. Okay, so if we open like that, here you go, this is it. Okay, and we can see here is the folder, and this is the group, and this is the permission. And by the way, if you have conflict permissions, if you have share permission and NTFS permission, and they have conflict permissions, the one that will win is the most restrictive permission. If you have, for example, share permission, full control, and NTFS deny, the deny permission will win. Okay, so you will be denied from this folder. So take care that your permissions should be identical. Okay, so here are the scripts and how they will be used. Okay, so let's go and begin the lab, or begin the practical uh, things. Okay, practical steps. Again, I forgot to mention one thing: the script for creating Active Directory in folders. I can show you all also this script. Here it is. This is the script for creating Active Directory home folders. Very, very simple. You need to state the domain, and then the name of the file server, and the folder that will contain the Active Directory home folders. Okay, and then simply you need to state, or you need to list all of your Active Directory users in a CSV file. So here you are stating the domain, the file server name, the folder that will contain the Active Directory home users, the name of the users, and their location in the domain in a CSV file. Let's see also uh, this thing which is called Marvel Users Group. Here we can see this is the SAM account, or let me show you all what does this contain. So here, if we go there, here, this is the SAM account, and this is the location of the user. So basically, the script will go and create the Active Directory home folder with the SAM account name of the user. Okay, and this is the location of the user, so he can locate him. Okay, so let's see our lab and see how we will implement all what we have revised, or what we have explained. So let's close all of these and then begin our lab. So here we will begin the installation of the file server, or file resource manager feature. The file server feature is already installed on the server. We need to install the file server resource manager. Okay, here I'm checking for updates, but I didn't find any. So we'll open the file server, or we'll open the server manager. Here we can see that we have the file server feature installed. We need to add the file server resource manager only, so we can control what is put on our file server. So next, next. Okay, we have here file server installed. The file server feature is installed, file service role. Then we need to add the file server resource manager feature. Here we can see that this is the name. File server resource manager helps you manage and understand the files and folders on a file server by scheduling file management tasks and storage reports. You can get reports about the size of the data, or size of the files on your file server, the type of files. Okay, this all can be stated in reports, and it can be sent to you by email. Which are the large files who have violated your file screening policy. For example, if you block adding videos and audios on your audio files on your shared folders, this will be sent to you by email. You can do that. Okay, classifying files and folders, configuring folder quotas, and defining file screening policies. And branch cache, this is to facilitate accessing files and folders in between different branches, something like caching. Okay, so next, he can continue. Okay, so you tell him next. Okay, and then restart if needed. Yes, install. There I am still checking for any Windows updates. Okay, so now we will add the file server resource manager. We will add it to our custom console so we can control or we can manage it or we can use it. So we'll add snap-in. Next, on file server resource manager. I'm just here arranging it in a certain order so I can access it. Okay, okay. And then the next step is to copy the scripts that I will use to create the folders and share them. Okay, so we'll save and then we will copy the scripts. I have my folders or I have my scripts shared between my laptop and this machine. Here we get it to shared folders and then I need to get the scripts. So here we will go and copy all of the scripts here. Let me make it very quickly. So let me show you a thing here. So here this is the script. We need to here what we need to do, we need to create the folders. This is the first step we have asked or what we have said. Let's first create the folder. Okay, here is the folders. Okay, the folders text file. Here you go, this is it. Or CSV, they have the same, by the way. Folder.text, sorry, folder.text, and then we will create or we will tell him to run this script. So it will create the parent folder and it will create the child folders listed in the text file. So now if we go and see, we will see that already these folders are created. Okay, so need to share them. If you go there, okay, and then we have departments, it was created and these are the folders. So let's go and begin the script. If we go and open the script, we have script 5 and 6 and 5 and 6 and 8. This is the first script. It will share the folders that we have created now. Okay, so this is the folders. Okay, they are here stated. It will not share them only, it will share them and give the groups access to this shared folder, or this is it is in a text file or in a CSV file. Okay, so this is very important step. Let's see how this will be done. So if you go, let me also make it more quickly here. So let me see how this will be done next. Okay, and let's see. Okay, so here I have the groups in, or I have changed the file name that contains the shared folders and the groups because this is the correct one. And now I will implement the script. Okay, before that I will take a snapshot. Okay, and then tell him before sharing. So this script will share the folders that we have created and give every group its permissions on the folder, share permissions. Okay, so now we will run the script. Okay, he will see that all of the folders are shared and uh, groups are allowed. Some errors appeared here because uh, some groups are duplicated. There is an error on my file, so some folders are not shared because there is an error in typing them. Okay, so this is not, or this is, you don't need to worry because this is a problem in the text file itself. So let's go and see if these folders are shared. So we need to run it a little bit here. Let's go further. So we need to open computer management and see if these folders are shared. Okay, so let me show how we can do that. Here, let's go a little bit further here. So we right click the Windows icon and then tell him computer management. Okay, and then we can see the shared folders. Okay, so now we can open the shared folders and then shares. Here we see these are all of the folders shared. Okay, so now we can see that all of them are shared. Take care to revise and see the shared folder because some of them are not correct. You need to revise the shared folders and see. Here, for example, we can see that every shared folder have a group and this group will have certain permission and everyone is there. I need to remove it because this is a security issue. Okay, so we need to remove it. This will be done using a script, by the way. Okay, so here we can see all of these are done using a script or using our script. Okay, so this is perfect. So if we go further here again, let me go further and let's see. Let me show you all something here. Again, this is not, you don't need to see all of that. If you go to script number 5, this will, as we can see from the previous one, let me show you something here again. If we see this one, or let me show you something here, we can see here that all of these folders have only one group. Every shared folder have one group that have a certain permission on it. I need to add a second group for all of these shared folders and to have another permission. So this will be done using another script. I need the IT to have full control over all of these folders. So the first script have shared the folders and give every specific group a change permission on the shared folders. This is done. I need to add a second group and to have full control over all of these shared folder. This will be done using another script. Okay, so we can go further and let me here, okay, let me show you. Okay, this is script number 8. This will grant the IT, okay, permissions on of these folders, or let me show you all. So here I will do the script. The script will need to go and see a CSV file that will state that, or it will include the IT group and permissions to have full control over the folder. Let me show you all what this CSV file contains. If you go there, okay, and then open the final, and then we will open this number, let me show you all, number 2, I think this is the one. Okay, not this one. We have number 1. Okay, here we can see from this one I need the IT group to have full control. Okay, IT group to have full control over all of the folders. Okay, so this is the second group. I need to have it full control over all of the folders. Okay, so this will be done using script number 8. So let's go and see how this will be done. So here we can see that, if you can see from this one, every uh, every folder we will have the IT full control over it, and everyone will have read, and a third group will have, for example, if you can see here, that this folder or the folder called AZI will have everyone read permission. Another group has a change and the IT will have full control. So this is what I mean. I need to add the IT group for all of these folders and give them full control. Okay, so this is what this script done. Refresh in properties. Okay, then we can see here this is the IT group and full control. So this how you can add a second group with another permission. Okay, then what we need to do, we need to remove everyone. This is the last script to remove everyone from all of these folders, and the folder or the shared folder names will be also stated in a CSV file. Okay, so we can see again that everyone is removed. Okay, this is basically simple. All of these CSV files are within the Google Drive link. If we go there, let me show you all again. If we go to the Google Drive link and my drive, we will see at the labs, the matrix, we will see all of the lab files, the scripts, and the CSV files. You can see all of them are there, so you can check them and see. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, then all of the SMB permissions are added, or it's working now. We need to apply the NTFS permissions. Okay, this is the next step. Okay, so we'll close all of them and then open the NTFS permissions script. We can go and open the file. So these are all of the folders. Okay, and then we'll open the scripts and then open NTFS permission script. Okay, here it is, and these are the folders and the permissions, or the security permissions. Okay, let's continue. Here I'm just modifying some things in the text file. We need to open the script. Okay, let me go further again. Here is the script, and the location of here is the file or text file that contains the files or the shared files and the groups permissions in this script or in this CSV file. Okay, I have shown you all the NTFS groups. I have already shown it before, so let's continue. We will apply the script. Okay, it will take some time until it downloads the NTFS security module and install it. Okay, so we can go a little bit further here. So it's downloading certain module, and then this module will install and download another module with NTFS, or it is NTFS security. Okay, okay, installing package. Simply very easy. Now we can go and check the permissions every folder. We will see that the permissions are set. If we open departments, open any one of these, we will see that now we have security permissions added. Okay, if we open this, here we can see the security permissions are added. Okay, the same as the SMB permissions. Okay, now to the last step is to create the Active Directory home folders. We need to work with the Active Directory home folders. So now we can see all of the scripts are so all of the folders are shared. Before creating the Active Directory home folders, we need to create a folder that in it will the Active Directory home folders will be created. So we need to create another one called users. This in it we will create the Active Directory home folders. This is the script. If we open it like that, here is the script. We need to change the domain, and then this is the name of the server, and we need to create a folder, and it will be hidden called bioships. This will contain all of the Active Directory home folders. Okay, so we need to go and create this folder. By the way, you can add a line here to create this folder. Okay, so this is very simple. We need to go and create this folder. So this folder should be created and shared. Okay, so the script will work. So I need to go and create this folder. Okay, this is folder name bioships. Take care, you need to give domain users full control over these folders, so the Active Directory home folders will be created successfully. So we'll create this folder, then share it, advanced sharing, and then put a $sign to be hidden. Okay, and then permissions. You need to remove everyone, so permission is to remove everyone, and then add domain users and give it full control. Okay, okay, then full control, and then do the same for the security permissions. Okay, so this is a good thing. Then we need to apply and okay, and then we go to the security and then do the same. Add domain users, then check name, then okay, give it full control. Then we can go and work with our script. Okay, so apply and okay. So everything is done. Now we need to go and play with the script. So now we have done the script. As we see, it's giving us for every folder successful notification. Okay, so we can see all of these are created. So you need only to change the domain and then the folder name. Okay, and the location of the CSV file that contain the SAM accounts and the location of the users. Okay, so this is basically very simple. We have seen that if you open Bioships, we will see a folder created for every user. For example, Gray Agent, this is an Active Directory user. If you go to the security, we will see here that in the security section that Agent Gray will have full control over his folder. So every Active Directory user will have full control over his Active Directory home folder. Okay, so this is one thing to take note. Okay, so for example, now what we need to do here, we need to see the folders, or let's go further here. Let's me show you something here for the computer management. I think this will not be something here, shares. We will see bioships, it is shared already. And if you open any Active Directory user properties, you will see at the profile tab that there is already uh, some setting. If we open now, for example, open the Active Directory and get to any user in the Active Directory, after using this script, folders are created, and then every profile tab, you will see this setting is filled, L, and the name of the user. Okay, so this is filled automatically by the script, and I will make a restart and you will see that this folder will appear for me. So you have created the Active Directory folders. It is attached to all of the users in the Active Directory. We need, the last step is to network map drive, or we need to map all of our department shares as network map drives through using a group policy. Okay, so let's go and see that. We'll open, before doing that, I need to put the quota and the file screening. So now we have already the folders created. We need to put the quota, okay, and the file screening, so we can uh, filter, or we can control the data put on our file server. So now we will open this, and then we will open the file server resource manager first of all, and then we will put quota. This is quota. So we will open that and then create quota. First, we have two options: to give a quota and share it to all of the users. So 10 giga will be shared with all of the users, or to give every user a 10 giga quota. So you can give every user 10 giga quota, or you can give all of the users 10 giga and share them. So you have two options. The first option is to share a quota on a path. Users will share 10 giga with each other, or to auto apply template and create quotas on existing and new subfolders. This will create 10 gigabyte for every user or every folder of the user. So let's browse and see So we'll open data, then department. This will, all of the departments will have 10 gigabytes. So the IT, the HR, all of the departments will share 10 gigabytes with each other. Okay. So for example, if I am an IT and put a file size or put on my share folder a file size of 10 gigabytes, none of the other users in other departments will be able to do or to put any other data because I have already consumed all of the quota. Okay. But if I use the other one, I and IT will be given specifically 10 gigabyte. Every department will be taken or will take 10 gigabyte. Okay, so let's begin. And then if the other option, any user will be created, will be given 10 gigabyte. Okay, so this is for the current users and the future users. Okay, so okay. And then we can give him, for example, 2 gigabyte or whatsoever, 5 gigabyte. Okay. Now we will go to file screening to block audio and video files on both shared folders. Right click and create file screening on both. Then we have this completed. We need to map the department shares to the users. Okay, so now I think we can bypass this real quickly and go to the group policy management console and then play with our mapping policy. Here is the mapping policy. We need to right click and edit it and begin configuring the network mapping group policy. We will see when I restart and log in with my IT account, I need to see the department shares or what department share will appear for me and my Active Directory and folder. So this is the drive maps. Here we can see the location and the network map drive letter and the description. So we will delete all of these and then we'll create them one by one. So now what you need to do, we need to go and this is the first share. We go to the properties. Here we can see this is the letter of the drive and this is the location of the shared folder, the server name and the share name of the folder, the description, reconnect, so it will always appear. Okay, if there is any disconnection to the network, it will reconnect again to the folder after the connection is established or the network connection is established. Okay, so we can see here this option, show all drivers. Common, we need to tell him to, through the command section, we will tell him the HR group, for example, will access this folder, and we need to apply this or to make this network map drive once, or you create this step or do this step once or every time. If you need it to be repeated every time, this can be done. The action is to create the network map drive. You can tell him to modify or to delete. Okay, so we need to open the run. Okay, put the file server name. For example, these are all of the shared folders. We tell him open. Now this is the hovercraft users share folder. We will copy. Okay, and let's go there and double click. This is the name of the shared or the location of the shared folder. This is the description. Okay, all hovercraft OU, for example, OU users. Okay, and then common, we need to apply this action every time. So remove this one. If you need to apply it once, do not reapply. Targeting, this will be appearing for members that is a group of the all hovercraft users Active Directory group. Okay, here you go. Okay, so a condition that this network map drive should appear for the members of this group. Okay, we need to remove this one. and create, and then that's it. We will do this for every share. Okay, okay, now we can create, we can copy and then do a couple of entries. We will not do uh, all of the departments. We will only take the IT department as an example. This is all SM. You can see here there is a problem with the shares. I can see all of the shares. So this is, I don't know if this is correct or not, but you need to revise this and see, okay? Maybe this is only in my virtual environment. Maybe this will be different in the physical world, okay? Copy, double click. This is the name, location. Go and targeting. This should be members of Matrix all simulation users. Okay, now the last one is for the IT. Take care that these, if you need to have two shares to be appearing for the user, then these two shares should have different uh, uh, drive letters. If you need, for example, to have two shares to appear for one user, then you should give the two shares different letters. This will happen with me when I try to set my IT folder or the IT share folder. As you can see, I can see all of the shares. This is not correct. So for example, let me demonstrate something here. For example, applied, okay. I am a member of the simulation OU. Okay, so I can see the IT simulation share and I can see all of the simulation share. So I can see both. So I am an IT, you need to see two shares, my department share and the general department share for all of the simulation users. So they have the same letter, so I will only see one. I need to have this as a different letter. Okay, so this is one thing you need to revise or need to say. We will restart and we'll begin seeing uh, after everything is set. We will see the shares and how they will appear. So we'll make a restart and then let's see the shares and how they will appear. So now we'll restart. Now we can go and log in with the user. You can see here that the mapping group policy is applied. So if we go and open this PC, here I am a member of the simulation OU, so I can see this is my Active Directory home folder. This is all simulation users map drive, network map drive. I need to see my IT, so I am as a member. of the simulation OU, I need to see all simulation users share and my IT share. So because they have the same drive letter, one of them only appeared for me. Okay, so this is one mistake. So I need to go and open the mapping policy and change the drive letter. If you go to preferences, okay, you go to preferences, and then we need to go to the driver and then change this from M to O, for example, okay, and then make gp update slash force and see the second partition, okay. So you can make right click and cmd, okay, cmd, and then gb update slash force, and we will see that we will have a different, or we will see another mapped drive for my department. So let's open the this PC and see if we will see another department share. So we can see here I have the IT simulation users. I am a member of the IT, the member of all simulation OU. So I can see all of these are appearing with the quota, and this also have a quota, by the way, but it doesn't appear. But anyway, we can see all of the folders are appearing in correct order, and this is perfect. As we can see, all of these are done using scripts, so to save time. So we will close the server, and this will be the end of our video. In the upcoming video, we will continue working. We will create a WSOS server on a separate virtual machine, and then we will create a client and join it to the domain and see the different group policies applied to it, and continue working with the scenario of our lab. Hope this video is informative for you all, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.